must say that I'm really interested to know what Hypno Birthing says, because you see all those shows on television about hypno and, now you can act like a chicken, please. I'm sure it's not that. Let's find out now, though, from Debra Wakefield. Thank you so much, Deb.
Thank you, Jonathan. And it's just great to see so many of you come along today just to find out a little bit more about what you can do to maintain a healthy body through your pregnancy and birth. So, what is hypnobirthing? And also, what is hypnobirthing not? So, often when you hear hypnobirthing, it's like, hypno what? People just sort of maybe associate it with something that's a bit weird and wanky and want to turn away from it. So hypnobirthing is actually a worldwide childbirth education philosophy on natural birth. And there's many forms of hypnobirthing. The Australian version of hypnobirthing is what I teach. It's been around in Australia for about 5 years. It's been developed by Melissa Spilstead in Queensland. And we use Australian births, Australian tracks to teach couples preparation for birth. We do have the Mongan method, which is the sort of the original American form of hypnobirthing, which was started about 30 years ago. And Corinne teaches the Mongan method, and Peter, who you heard from earlier, she has her form of hypnobirthing as well. So it's not something just that I've created just to have you come along and learn from me. So I've got a couple of slides that I've made up some words that I think is the description of hypnobirthing. And I've got written here, hypnobirthing is just a fancy word for a modern birthing practice where it teaches couples to prepare for birth with a calm confidence and trusting the birthing process. It's really just an old-fashioned way of trusting the birth process, using what nature has given us all from within us to get through this beautiful event of bringing your baby into the world. So it's using what primal women have always done and always known, how to instinctively trust the process and tap into what we have within us that is going to allow us to birth our babies. So up until now, probably a lot of you have gained your thoughts about birth from what we've heard in the media, from what your friends or family members have told you. And often, if somebody's had an experience in their birth that they want some sympathy for, they might ham it up a little bit and make it sound really quite scary and gory and painful and awful. So those images are often embedded in people's minds when they think about birth. And some of the things that we see in an image like this is women who are feeling unsupported. They're on their back, so in bed, which we know is the worst position for a mother and the absolute worst position for a baby to be born. So a lot of these women have got a look of fear on their face, and with fear, we know that we create some very bad hormones in our body for labour. They get the adrenaline running, which actually slows our labour and does make our labour more painful. So it's possibly not the right way to embrace birth with a thought of fear. But you can birth like a princess if you do hypnobirthing. William and Kate actually used the UK version of hypnobirthing to prepare for when baby George was born, and then again when they had Charlotte, they did their refresher course with their hypnobirthing training. And we all know how beautiful Kate looked when she walked out of the hospital. And so you too, if you employ a hairdresser and a makeup artist, but if you do the hypnobirthing course, you can feel that calm confidence and that empowerment that you can get. You can see that some of the couples here in these pictures are using upright, active positions. They've got a lot of support from either their partner or we might hear from a doula about paid professional support that you can have in labour and birth to feel that bubble of confidence and that trust that you have in those that are looking after you through that birthing process. So, what is taught in a hypnobirthing class? So it is a 12-hour course that we can run either over 2 weekend days or it might be over 4 3-hour evenings. And in that time we cover relaxation, visualisation, self-hypnosis, breathing, affirmations, And just in a very short sentence, that's not going to tell you how to do it, but we do a lot of learning about how to do it, and then we have a little practice of each of those techniques, and you end up having a bit of homework to do with practicing those techniques. So when the big day comes for your baby's birthday, you know how to be able to use all those things that you're planning on using for your birth. So hypnosis. We don't shy away from the fact that we use the word hypnosis, but some people get a little bit funny about what is hypnosis, and as Jonathan alluded to, often people who don't really understand, they will see a stage hypnotist doing an act where you've got people who are wanting to act like a chicken, get up on stage, and they are willing to put on a performance. But hypno birthing is not that, your partner's going to say a magic word and you're going to start clucking like a chook in the birth suite or anything like that. Hypnosis is actually a state that we get ourselves into many times a day, and all hypnosis really is self-hypnosis. And there's probably been many times throughout the afternoon that you've sort of wandered off in your mind and started to think about, what are you going to cook for dinner, or what time's this speaker going to finish, and that's actually a form of self-hypnosis. Some of the other times in your life that you might actually find yourself in that same state, you might be at the movies and it might be a really sad movie and you start crying with whatever's happening on the screen. You've actually taken your mind to another place, and you might have found that you've been reading a book and so engrossed in the scene, you think you're on a desert island or at the beach or something, and you get engrossed in that moment. So that's another form of hypnosis. Now I just want you to, if you're willing to do a little activity with me here, some of you might like to close your eyes, some might like to keep your eyes open and look at the screen, but I just want you to imagine a lemon. I want you to imagine picking up that lemon in your hand and just feeling that cold texture of the lemon skin, got a little bit of dimples around the edge of the skin, and I want you to imagine putting that on your chopping board and cutting that in half, and just see that juice dribble out of the lemon. Turn it over on the side and cut it again so you've got that lemon in a quarter, and just see that lemon juice dribble out of the lemon. Now I want you to pick that lemon up and I want you to bite into it. Okay, just come back to the room. Hands up those who salivated or swallowed while you were doing that. Yeah. Okay, so what's happening is you're actually having a physical response to a thought process. And in hypnobirthing, that's one of the tools that we use. So who knows what this is here? Pavlov's dogs. And what did Pavlov do with his dogs? Yeah, they were conditioned to have a physical response to a sound. So what we actually do in hypnobirthing is we are conditioning you to release these absolutely amazing hormones that you have within you, the endorphins. And they're 20 to 40 times more powerful than morphine. So hypnobirthing will teach you how to use those for your own benefit. So thank you very much for listening to my passion about hypnobirthing.